Recording.
Thank you. Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Reverend Cassandra Ray, Spiritual Director of the Center for Spiritual Living, White Rock. We are a spiritual learning center located in South Surrey, White Rock, in beautiful British Columbia, and we envision a world that naturally expresses love. We practice and teach tools for transformation, authentic self-expression, and conscious living. And so wherever you are on your path, whether you're soaring or struggling, there's a place for you here today. And I'm so glad that you're with us. As we begin today, I'd like to acknowledge that Canada has endured a great tragedy in Nova Scotia this last week. So right up front, we're going to take a pause to remember those that have lost their lives. And we stand with family members and friends, loved ones who are mourning right now. We feel the pain of this deep loss, and we open our hearts to them by speaking their names this morning. And we also reach out with prayer, knowing that the healing power of prayer treatment transcends time and space. And so now I'd like to invite practitioner Jana to please read out the names, and after we'll follow with a moment of silence and prayer treatment.
Lisa McCulley, Heather O'Brien, Greg Blair, Jamie Blair, Alana Jenkins, Sean McLeod, Tom Bagley, Jolene Oliver, Erin Tuck, Emily Tuck, Gina Goulet, Lillian Hislop, Joanne Thomas, John Zoll, Joey Weber, Don Galuchin, Frank Galuchin, Corey Ellison, Peter Bond, Joy Bond.
I just want to put on a shirt before I start the video.
Kristen Beaton, and the unborn baby Beaton, and RCMP Constable Heidi Stevenson.
And so we take a breath. And we take a moment to feel the loving presence of Spirit right here, right now. Knowing that there is one source of all life everywhere and that it is infinite. I let this infinite presence hold any and all pain that is present right now. I recognize that there is a deep and unconditional love, an undercurrent of love that is present at all times, and that this love, that it lives at the center of each and every being. And that it wraps and enfolds each one that is impacted by this tragedy. I let the heart open And as I let that heart open to the human pain of loss, it opens to this divine presence and love. I recognize that the divine presence is always here, always available, and that it beckons each one, that it wraps and enfolds each one in this loving embrace. And so I feel that presence of love, and from this place of unity, of oneness, of knowing that each one of us is connected by this presence of love, I speak a word of peace and comfort for each family member, friend, co-worker, acquaintance, of each one of these blessed lives lost too soon. I know that each one is held by this love and by this grace. And even though I don't understand, I let this love comfort even the uncertainty and the confusion and any and all human feeling that comes up in the wake of this experience. I know that the presence of the divine, that the love of the divine is stronger and enfolds each human thought and emotion. And so I bless each one of these precious souls. I bless the community, the county, the province, the country, the world, knowing that there is an infinite amount of love pouring out to each one impacted by this event. And so I'm grateful for the ways in which people show up for other people. I'm grateful for each expression of love and care. I'm grateful to remember that the truth of the human spirit is love and connection, community, and compassion. This is who and what humanity is. It is this love and grace. And I'm grateful for the strength and the outpouring of generosity that shows up. I'm grateful for the ways in which each one holds out a helping hand to say, I'm here for you. I'm grateful for the resilience and the strength, knowing that it carries us through. And so with this love and heart, I release my word into the divine law of mind, knowing that the healing power of spirit and love is already underway. It is already here. It is already working. It is already unfolding, gently yet powerfully, holding each one, loving and guiding each one. And I say yes to this love and this presence, letting it be. And so it is. Thank you, Practitioner Jill, for leading us through that powerful meditation. I appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone who's here today, being on this journey together, this journey called life. And sometimes this journey called life feels like a roller coaster. And the interesting thing about a roller coaster is that it's meant to entertain and be joyful. And there are times when we just throw our arms up and whoop and holler in joy and fun. And there are other times where we might grip our seat, hold on, and be like, ah, I didn't want this. What was I thinking when I got on this ride? Maybe that part that goes click, 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 and it goes up a dark tunnel and out, and then comes down for a big fall. And then it curves and turns again. And it seems like oftentimes the rate and rhythm of life's ups and downs, they're manageable, and we have time, and we can engage in our self-care and do what we need to do, and maybe lately you've noticed that the rate and rhythm has both slowed down and also sped up, right? Like we are currently in a huge collective pause. So on one hand, everything has slowed down. On the other hand, you might find that things inside of you have sped up, like the amount of emotions you feel in a day. You might feel the whole spectrum of human emotion many times throughout the day as something happens, and then you think, oh no, do I have the virus? Oh no, did that person just get too close to me at the grocery store? Right? Like, oh, I coughed. Crap. These things are happening. These questions are happening for all of us. We're all in it. And then in the next moment, there might be a small pleasure that you feel so incredibly grateful for. Like having a comfortable apartment with as many books as I could ever read. And how many years would it take me to read all of them? And so you might have noticed this speeding up and this slowing down. And so today we're going to talk about something that we can anchor into, that we can hold on to lightly in a way that can support us through this experience. And so I want to remind you, or tell you for the first time, if you haven't heard it before, that there are seeds of genius planted inside of you, that they naturally take root and grow and blossom. It's our job to tend to ourselves so that this inner harvest can come to outer fruition. And the really cool thing about this is that those seeds of genius, they have everything they need inside of themselves to become what they're meant to be. And they instinctually seek fulfillment. So each seed has purpose inside of them. And so when we are tending to these seeds of purpose within us, we also feel a sense of purpose. And so they guide us. They guide us with our preferences, our talents, our desires, and excitement. In essence, our passion. So your passion is also known as the fire in the belly. And when we're learning to become licensed practitioners, we are required to explore, discover, get acquainted with the fire in the belly. And you might ask, well, why? Because it is the fire in the belly that deepens the power of prayer. So when we speak our affirmations with heartfelt passion, and when we feel grateful for answered prayer before it happens, before we actually experience it, then we're creating an opening in our heart and in our mind that is prepared to receive the gifts of the universe. And so I believe that right now we can anchor in to these seeds of genius and purpose inside of us that not only lead us to our passion, but they also have wisdom in them that can guide us in how best to navigate life's challenges, so that anything that we're going through, either individually or collectively, that it can help bring to light your purpose. And so, of course, those who know me know I started in the dictionary. Yes, I looked up the fire in the belly in 4 different dictionaries. And guess what? I got 4 different answers. And what I appreciate about this is that we can look at these 4 different definitions as different dimensions of the fire in the belly. And so I'll just tell you that the 4 key elements that came up in my dictionary search are stamina, determination, energy, and the desire to achieve something. So the fire in the belly, it has stamina, it has determination, it has energy, and the desire to succeed. So one of the first things I said in my talk today is that there are seeds of genius inside of you. And I believe these seeds of genius are actually the source of the fire in the belly. So remember how I said those seeds have everything they need within them? Yes. Well, I would also say that these seeds of genius, that they also have the stamina, determination, energy, and desire to sustain you in your quest to harvest them. And I would also say that these are definitely qualities we need to navigate the quarantine, because, oh my goodness, I am so at the point where, like, can this be over? Look, I'm like trying not to touch my face for those of you who can see me. I was like, oops, not supposed to touch my face. We definitely need some stamina to get through this, and some determination to keep our eyes, toward the light at the end of the tunnel, and the energy to maintain. And I certainly do have the desire to get to the end of this pandemic and come out stronger and better than when we went into it. That's my desire. That's the fire in the belly for me that is keeping me home in my house. Okay, so Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founders of the Centers for Spiritual Living, he called this fire in the belly, he called it the divine urge. And he defined it in the glossary of the Science of Mind text, our seminal text. And this is what he says it is. So I quote, "The divine urge is the inner desire to express life. The desire to do and accomplish more, to be more completely happy, prosperous, and well is right. It is part of that eternally progressive spirit of unfoldment, and we should surrender the entire situation to the working of intelligence, with the conviction that intelligence will use us as a perfect channel." That's right. You are a perfect channel for the seeds of genius within you. The intelligence of the universe chose you specifically as the exact right expression of its purpose. So the universe, or spirit, or God, whatever you want to call it, is sharing its purpose with you by planting within you and giving you the desire to fulfill, to want to fulfill this and supplying you with the required energy, drive, and determination. So even if you don't feel it today, it is here, present within you right now. And so I also want to recognize that sometimes the divine urge causes a divine imbalance, but it's all in service of your divine purpose. I shared quite a bit of my personal experience of this divine imbalance on Facebook this week. I did a live session and I talked about how I had a medical crisis that launched me on an entirely new path. And the principles and practices that I've learned in order to navigate that are the content, the essential principles and practices that I'm teaching in an upcoming workshop series. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of that experience here, but I am putting a link in the chat for those of you on Zoom if you want to watch that video at a later time. But I want to talk more about the divine imbalance. Because did you know that in plants, it's often an imbalance that causes them to blossom? Isn't that so cool? I did some more research in preparation for today, and there are a number of different imbalances that actually bring beauty to life in the natural world. Sometimes it's an imbalance in between, like which cells have water or give out water, and which cells like take in water. So the difference between them causes this imbalance that then they bloom. Sometimes it's an imbalance in the pressure inside a plant that actually makes it tall and sturdy so that it reaches to the sky. Sometimes it's that pressure, that poof, just the flowers appear. And sometimes it's a chemical inside the plant that's triggered oftentimes by light and temperature and the right environment that is released in the plant, and then spring, right? So most of us as spiritual speakers are seeking, balance, peace, calm, clarity, and joy. And I mean, yes, please, I will take all of those as well. I just think it's important to recognize that imbalance is actually part of balance, a normal, natural, and oftentimes something that leads to a great amount of beauty in life. And so when this happens, Dr. Ernest Holmes advises us to surrender the entire situation to the working of intelligence. So we must trust that the seeds of genius that are planted inside of us have the power and ability to guide us through any and all of life's challenges. Now, I believe that the genius wants to flourish as you, and that it will use everything in your life as an avenue to express itself. I'm not saying that you have to go through adversity in order to flourish and thrive, but if you do go through adversity, that, my dear, is the fertilizer in the garden of your life. So you might have quite a bit of fertilizer going on right now. And it's okay. You might find yourself resisting, judging, criticize, or trying to control it. I mean, yes, that is like knee-jerk reaction. But here's the thing. The seeds of genius within you, they unfold naturally and organically. What this means, though, is that they also take you into new territory. Yeah. This is called the unknown. kind of wish this didn't happen. But it does. And there are gifts here to discover and find in the unknown. And Elizabeth Lesser, the author of this month's book of the month, Broken Open, she calls this the river of change. And so when she finds herself resisting this natural unfoldment of those seeds of genius within you, here's what she says she does. I become aware of what I'm doing. I become aware of the choice either to break down or to break open. I take a deep breath, uncoil my body, and stretch out on the river of change. Once again, I accept that life is uncertain, that the goal is not to become more certain about anything, but to relax more into the mystery of not knowing what will come next. And then, miracle of miracles, out there in the deep and uncertain water, I come into a peaceful knowing, a faithful wisdom that surpasses control and certainty. For those of you who've been asking for page numbers, that was on page 256. And I just want to remind you that this faithful wisdom, that it lives inside of you, that it's been planted there by the divine. It knows how to come to fulfillment. It loves you and wants the best for you. It embraces you, believes in you, approves of you, and supports you. And may we open up to receive. May we allow the seeds of genius to grow and to guide us into the highest and best expression of our soul. And may we love each other on the way. Because boy, more than ever, right now, it is so important for us to remember and consciously choose that we are all walking each other home. I love you, and so it is. This and anchor it into our bodies, into our minds and hearts with prayer treatment. And so just taking a breath and remembering that this is the breath of infinite life, that there is a source of life that is infused with love and health and creativity, that lives and breathes and moves and has its being as each one on the planet, as everyone and everything, that it is not withheld to anyone. It is given abundantly and generously. And so I take a moment to receive these gifts of life and love and creativity, to receive them right in my soul, to align myself with this universal power and presence. That as I do this, it is empowering my word, that it empowers this consciousness to come to life, that it brings it into experience. And so what I know is that each and every one has within them these seeds of genius planted in the soul, that each one is guided to the highest and best expression, not only for ourselves, but for each other. And so I know that there are brilliant creative ideas coming to the surface now that heal the hearts and minds of individuals, that heal planetary problems, that offer social solutions, that relieve pain, that provide food, I know that God shows up in individual people, in individual hearts, and in the individual minds. And so I know that healing is happening right now, that love is happening right now. And I speak a word of nourishment for these seeds of genius, knowing that each one is growing and moving and leading and guiding each one of us into the highest and best. That there are both little and big ways that each one is called forward to heal, to be the healing presence. And I am so grateful for this opportunity to be in community, to remember that this nourishment is here. And so I take it in, taking this nourishment into the body, mind, soul. I know that it unfolds with such ease and grace, that there is a great power at play here, enfolding each one in this love and in this grace. I know that purpose is unfolding in the hearts and minds of each one present here today, that it brings healing, that it brings creativity and purpose to life. I'm so grateful for small pleasures that feed the soul. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to be together, to walk hand in hand, heart in heart. It is with this love that I release my word into the divine law of mind, knowing that it is done. It is already so in the mind of God. I let it have me. I let it be. And so it is. Deep, deep breath. Just finding my way back to the planet, back to Earth, back with you. Yes. Now is our time for sacred giving. Knowing that there is an infinite flow of life we open to receive by giving consciously. And as we give to where our souls are fed, we know that it is multiplied abundantly. And we gratefully appreciate and receive your gifts, tithes, and offerings. You can give on our website at csl-whiterock.com/donate. It's simple, safe, and secure. You can make a one-time or reoccurring donation, and gifts of all sizes are gratefully appreciated and so helpful. Your contribution to our community and your presence here makes such a difference. Thank you. And I do have some announcements for you. I wanted to remind you that every Tuesday in April at 9:30 a.m., practitioner Jill Ingalls is offering a group meditation on Zoom. It includes space to check in, inspirational reading, and a group meditation with silence. You can find the link on our website and social media platforms. Every Thursday in April at 3:30 p.m., practitioner Tamara Rostander is leading a guided meditation on Facebook Live. And this is such a sweet, tender pause in the craziness that can be social media to recharge your soul and to reground and center in. I hope that you'll join us for one or both of these times to meditate this week. I am also just so excited to tell you that I have a new workshop series coming up called Creating Through Change. And it is based on this idea that there are seeds of genius within you that naturally grow and blossom. And this workshop series, it's 6 different modules. Each module is going to teach principles and practices that empower you to embrace your humanity while knowing your divinity, and then having this environment within you that allows these seeds of genius to blossom. I really hope that you will join us and dive deeper into this very subject. And you can visit our website to learn more. It's $25 for each module, or $125 for all of them. And I wanted to let you know that we also now have 3 bursaries that are available. And we send out information in our last newsletter email. So you want to make sure that you're on that newsletter. You get lots of juicy info and heads up ahead of time. And essentially, if you have financial need, if finances are stopping you from taking this course, then you can simply email admin@cslwhiterock.com and just let us know why you want to take the course and a little bit about your need. And please do that by May 1st, and we will let you know who is selected and qualified for our bursary. And the bursary is for $100. So you can take the whole 6 modules for $25 if you get a bursary. And lastly, I wanted to just let you know that your licensed practitioners are here to know the truth of you in prayer treatment. Their bios and contact information are on our website under the prayer and care page. You can reach out to them for a complimentary prayer treatment over the phone. It lasts about 10 to 15 minutes. They're also available for paid sessions. These are deeper, more individualized and involved. And it includes spiritual guidance and prayer treatment. And this lasts around an hour. So if you're needing support right now, please do reach out. It's part of our practitioners' soul's calling to be here for you. This is part of how those seeds of genius blossom in them, is by working with you. And thank you so much for being here today. Blessings on your week. Let's enjoy our closing song.